Hi everyone, let's make these three beautiful and super easy bookmarks perfect to give to your loved ones. So the materials I will be using is 300 GSM watercolor paper, cut it in the standard bookmark size, and then I have two round brushes, big and small, watercolors, some ribbons, and you can also use a punching machine if you want. I have this one. So for the first one, we are creating a rose bouquet, and I started with two slanting line upwards and two downwards, and I'm just using a cracky line across to attach the top, and then just using a very light watery consistency of brown to fill it in, and then drop some dark brown or ochre to give some highlights and contrast and to show some wrinkles on the paper. After this, we are going to start with the roses, for which we are just going to use some curved strokes in a swirl pattern. So just like you make a swirl, we are just placing some curved lines around one another. You can see, and I definitely would recommend leaving some negative spaces between the lines so that it looks that it has petals, differentiated petals, and you can place them wherever you want, and you can make them big or small. I will also be adding some tiny little buds also. It's time to add the stems and the leaves now, for which I'm using olive green mixed with a little bit of brown. And I'm just attaching all the flowers and making the stems from them, and then I will be adding tiny little leaves wherever I see the space and wherever I want to cover some space. So it totally depends on where you want the placement of the leaves and the stems. Now I'm going to add a tiny little bow at the bottom part of this bouquet so that it looks super cute and super girly. And I'm also going to add some lines to the bouquet paper so that it represents even more wrinkled effect. It's time to write the quote. Any message that you want to write, you can. Here I'm just writing read and love, and you can use a pencil to trace it first. And then I used my punching machine to punch a hole, and it gives such a beautiful shape to this bookmark. I love how it turned out. Let's move on to the second bouquet, and in this one it's really simple and easy. I'm just going to paint some watercolor hearts. Here I'm using a magenta shade. I will also be mixing a little bit of yellow and magenta to give a wet on wet effect to some of the hearts. You can place them wherever you want, big and small. Any variation you can do. You can even change the colors. You can use red instead of pink, and purple as well. Once you're satisfied with the placement of hearts, I'm using a dark brown shade to make the stems for this one. I want a very rustic look for this bookmark, so I'm using a brown instead of green, and I'm letting the brown bleed to the hearts. So I'm motively touching the brown with the hearts so that it bleeds a little color. And I will also be adding some tiny little leaves here and there to make it even fuller. And that's about it. I'm now going to punch it again, and then I'm going to attach a ribbon on the top. And here is the final look of the second bookmark. It looks absolutely cute and evergreen. The third one is actually a pun bookmark. So I'm drawing a cute little mushroom, just very loosely. I'm drawing the mushroom, and then I will be using a wax crayon to resist water on some of the spots. So I'm just depicting the white spots that are there on the mushroom and starting to paint. So as you can see, the wax crayon has resisted some places, so the watercolor is just gliding over those spots, and I'm using a very juicy red color on this one, and I will be dropping in some more bright red color after I cover with the first layer, and I will be using wet on wet technique for that. For the bottom part of the mushroom, I'm using very light wash of brown, and I will just be spreading it with water, and then I will drop in some concentrated brown at some spots to give some shadows. It's time to add the pun to this cute bookmark, and the pun is there is so much room in my heart, which is so cute. I'm also adding a dark red color under the mushroom part to give a reflection, and using my calligraphy marker to write the pun. You can use a black gel pen as well. Also added two little cute eyes and a little tiny smile. And roughly outlining the mushroom. It's optional. Finally, I punched it and erased the extra pencil lines and added the ribbon. This is the final look of this bookmark. I love how it came out. Absolutely very easy to make. So I hope you all enjoyed these 3 bookmarks which you can give to your loved ones at any occasion, be it Valentine's, be it any other occasion. Super easy, and it just takes 5 minutes to do that. If you like this video, then please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.